Hi everybody, Jillian here for Illustrated Faith's Print and Pray Shop to bring you a brand new Bible journaling process video. Today I'm going to be in Colossians 3 using a few sets from Salted Brew, Elaine's Cross Washi, and then also some of these beautiful fall leaves and things from Shauna's set Hope Harvest. I printed most of these things out on Avery clear sticker paper. It's the 8665 item number, paper number. So we'll go ahead and have that linked in the video description below, but I wanted to show you what it looked like, the full printable on white cardstock, because I just have a teeny tiny remnant left because I've been enjoying using it on all of my pages. And then I also printed Salted Brew set on some sticker paper so that I could use these guys as washi, and I have just a few leftover scraps here, but wanted to show you what they looked like in their entirety. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed you guys up and let's get started. So I was really drawn to all of those beautifully scripted words that Leah, Salted Brew, has in her set off to the right there. And they say things like compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. And so I love how Leah asks us, do you put these on like your favorite layers, your best scarves, sweaters, jeans, and boots? And so I'm in Colossians chapter 3, about verses 7 to 14. And the end of verse 9, beginning of verse 10 says, since you have taken off your old self with its practices and have put on the new self. And then it goes on down into verse 12 and says, therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. It goes on to say, bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you, and over all these virtues put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. So all the time in this community we talk about shining our light for Christ. But what exactly does that look like? And so in her set, Leah encourages us not to just gloss over all of these words, but to chew on what each one of them means and looks like. And so I had this idea of staggering the words and then writing the definition or an example of that word in the margin. But you can see here I am quickly running out of room. I'm not going to have much space to write anything underneath each of these words. And then I had a eureka moment. I thought to myself, look at all this blank space over on the next page at the end of Colossians 4, and thought it would be a great idea to go ahead and stagger them over on the right side, and so I would have enough room on the margin on the left and then on the right too. So this is going to end up being a 2-page spread. I really like this piece that is the olive green color that says, just as I bundle up to stay warm this season, I need to actively put on my new self in Christ. But I didn't love all of the darker colors I was planning on using on the left side, and I'm instead looking for something else to go ahead and put there. So I love this little owl guy. I knew I wanted to use him because he has on a scarf and glasses, and it's just those beautiful autumnal colors. And I love the little circle punch and the tab that I used up at the top that say, what do I wear? Layers of holiness. So I'm going to go through my alpha sticker stash here, and I decided to pull out the phrase new self, so that's really going to be the title of this entry. And I end up going with the gratitude documented fundamental sticker sheet that has these beautiful like aqua alpha stickers on them. And then I'm going to use these other black alphas from Doodlebug, I think, and spell out the phrase new self. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the things down that I know that I want there, like the tab and the circle punch, and then I'm going to put the alpha stickers on top of my Bible mat here so that I can move them around and see where they'll look best before I commit to sticking them down. I'm going to go ahead and get that owl down and find the edge of the release paper here and very gently get him down. And then I was about ready to stick down the stickers and realized I would be covering up the entire first half of the verse if I ended up putting that W just underneath the owl. So that's why there's a bit of a gap there, because I didn't want to cover up the verse I was journaling. So I'm going to take a Faber-Castell Big Brush Artist pen. The color is Pink Madder Lake. It's number 129, and I'm going to use that to highlight the verses. And then I'm using some of the washi strips from Salted Brew here to kind of bulk up the top a little bit. I absolutely love this pink and black stripe, and it's going to make a couple more appearances throughout the video. Now to fill in some space to the right of the tab, I'm going to go ahead and cut down bits of this piece from Shauna's set, Hope Harvest. And I love using the clear sticker paper. Typically, I would use something like a stamp to fill that space in, or maybe another artist brush pen to kind of make some marks or something, but I really like having this stuff printed on clear sticker paper. It just melts into the page. And so basically, I'm just going to put the leaves down in 3 places, kind of falling down the page. And it does cover the text a bit, but you can still read the text underneath. I think that's probably my absolute favorite part of using the sticker paper. So I used it just like washi here, and I'm going to go ahead and let it hang off the edge and then flip the page over and trim off the excess. Then I'm going to go ahead and get started on my journaling, and one verse that I knew I wanted to mention when I was talking about this passage in Colossians 3 was this verse that I just recently studied in Ephesians 4. It's verses 22 to 24, and the English Standard Version says, "Put off your old self, which belongs to your former manner of life and is corrupt through deceitful desires, and be renewed in the spirit of your minds, and put on the new self, created after the likeness of God in true righteousness and holiness." And I wasn't sure what to put between the owl and the title, and I ended up just kind of summarizing verses 9 and 10 here, and it says, "Take off your old self with its practices and put on the," and then you'll see the title, "New Self." So then I decided to move over to the right, and I'm going to just peel off the release paper and get these stickers down. And it was really funny. I'm trying to put them down in the order that they appear in verse 12, and I couldn't find the sticker that said gentleness. And I was thinking, oh man, did I miss one? Where is it? Where did it go? And then realized that my Bible says gentleness, but the version she must have been working from, it has it translated as meekness. So a little moment of panic there, quickly remedied. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing and then get the leaves on the top of this page. And so using elements like this, small things, really tie a double page entry together. If you can, the colors also, but especially like little elements like this will really tie multiple pages together. So like I said, I really like how Leah refers to these things as layers that we might wear, since it's sweater weather now for most of us. Like I mentioned, when I was studying Ephesians 4, 22 and 24 a few days ago, I learned something really, really interesting that kind of explains why Paul uses this language. And I'm going to read from my Bible study book here. It says, Paul wisely used some key phrases the believers in the culture would quickly identify and understand. In their day, part of the initiation process for a person involved in one of their pagan religions was to remove and discard their old clothing, signifying a total break with any previous association. So when Paul implored the Christians to put off their old apparel, he wasn't just talking about the routine changing of clothes for the day. He was talking about the responsible action of formally rejecting behaviors that were indicative of their old self, those that aligned with darkness instead of light, and breaking their association with their previous manner of living. But it's important that we don't just take off those things, but that we instead put on compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience, and over all of these, put on love, which binds them all together. So I had my notes written down off camera here, and I looked up the original text, kind of wrote down the definition. I'm not going to make you watch me write the whole page here, but I just kind of wrapped my handwriting around the words, and then I'm okay with any blank spaces because I'll show you in a moment here how I go ahead and fill that in. But it was just a great time for me to geek out and really dive into what these words mean, really unpack them and, like Leah says, chew on them, and then even include some examples in here of what it looked like in scripture for these characteristics to play out, and then also how I might incorporate them into my life. So once I have all of the writing done, I'm going to go ahead and look at a few different washi strip options here and decide to bring this olive color down to the bottom of the page, and then I'm going to layer a couple more on top of that since it wasn't quite long enough to get it under that word love. So I'm going to go ahead and get that pink and black stripe washi down on the bottom and then put the last little bit of it at the top right. Nothing wasted here. And then I'm using, again, this pattern from Shauna's set, and I'm going to cut it up into teeny tiny pieces and insert it into all of the gaps on this page. I had recently just cut my nails really short, so I'm not going to make you watch me do the whole thing. It was very difficult to get the release paper apart from the sticker paper with virtually no nails. I like to keep my nails really short, so I'm going to keep that in mind for next time, maybe not cut them so small. And then use my Illustrated Faith date stamp to stamp only the date down in this little gap that I have in the center towards the left. And that's going to do it. Here's a finished look at my entry along with a few close-ups. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in picking up any of these kits from the Print and Pray shop, they are linked in the video description below. I hope you have a wonderful day and get to enjoy some Bible journaling time for yourself. See you soon.